Today you're going to take some notes about text structure in nonfiction. So grab a paper and pencil or a pen and get ready to learn. Text structure is the way an author organizes a text. While some authors just start writing everything they know about a topic, most authors organize their text. This helps readers understand the information they're presenting. Authors make a choice about how they're going to present that information. One of the text structures that we're going to learn about is description text. It's exactly how it sounds. It describes something. So in a descriptive text structure, it's describing any topic by its characteristics or features. What you can see, hear, taste, smell, touch, any of your senses. So let's use an example. Toothpaste is a type of paste that is used with a toothbrush to clean teeth. It comes in many different flavors and varieties. In the descriptive text, the author is trying to describe toothpaste. In a sequence text structure, things are arranged or events are arranged in steps in order. So in this particular example, we look at the chart at number 1. In order to brush your teeth, you'll first need a toothbrush, toothpaste, water, sink, and a towel. 2. Place a thin layer of paste on the toothbrush bristles. 3. Next, apply a bit of water to the toothpaste. 4. Using the bristles, scrub your teeth in a gentle circular motion. In a compare and contrast text structure, we're describing the similarities and differences between two or more topics. So let's look at the example. Mouthwash is a liquid that can quickly be used by swishing it around in your mouth and spitting it out. Floss, on the other hand, is a string-like material that must be inserted in the mouth and slip between teeth. Flossing and using mouthwash are two different ways to kill germs in your mouth. So it's comparing mouthwash and floss and contrasting them to show how they're different. In a cause and effect text structure, we write about events and actions and what happens as a result of those events and actions. So in this example, it says teeth must be cared for and cleaned regularly. If you do not properly and regularly brush and floss your teeth, bacteria will form. This will cause plaque to build up. Plaque may eventually cause tooth decay and gum disease. So notice the cause was that you didn't brush your teeth. The effect is bacteria forms, plaque builds up, and eventually an even worse effect is tooth decay and gum disease. The last text structure is a problem and a solution text structure. It writes about a problem and then solves the problem for you. For example, how can you clean your teeth when you're not at home? One solution is to carry a travel-sized container of toothpaste and a small toothbrush. Notice that they told you right up front what the problem was, and then they solved it for you. Let's try it out together and see if we can figure out what text structure this is. When asked what activities they like to do, Arav, Ihan, Lauren, Neil, Nella, Ryan, Rebecca, Sissy, Tyson, and Xavier all said they like sports like football, basketball, dancing, and skating. They wish they could be doing these activities during the school closure. On the other hand, Ihan, Ella, Neil, Nella, Rebecca, Sam, and Sophie said they like doing art or music activities. Some of them still do these activities during the school closure because they can do them at home. The good news is that all students can meet up with Mrs. Shoup and the whole class on Zoom and also comment on each other's work on Seesaw during the closure. So, what do you think? What text structure is this? If you guessed compare and contrast, you're right. The first paragraph is basically describing the students that like sports. The other paragraph describes students that like art activities. It's comparing all students in something that they can do together, and then contrasting what the students do differently. Some of the things that you should look for in compare and contrast is using words like on the other hand, or similarly, or even using the words compare or contrast somewhere in the text. Let's try it again. What text structure is this? Because the risk of infection from COVID-19 is so high, the governor of Washington, Jay Inslee, shut down schools in Washington state. To keep students and teachers safe, students at Apollo Elementary had their last day of in-person school on Thursday, March 12th. This has made learning a challenge because all learning has to happen online at their homes in order to stay safe. So what do you think? What text structure is this? Were there clues somewhere in the text that gave you a hint? If you guessed cause and effect, you're right. Some words that you might have looked at to discover that it's a cause and effect are words like cause, effect, or because. The tricky word because right there at the very beginning is telling you that something happened, and because something happened, it affected what happened next. Let's try this next one. See if you can figure out what text structure this is. Have you ever had a problem opening a pickle jar? A lot of people can't open pickle jars because the top is too wide for smaller hands to grasp. The solution is to grow bigger hands with our new and improved hand grower. What do you think? What is the text structure? If you guessed this was a problem and a solution, you're right. Some of the clues you might look for in the text is words like problem, solved, or resolution. Notice that they told you there was a problem right up front. Have you ever had a problem opening a pickle jar? When they give you a solution, and they even use the word solution in the sentence at the bottom, it gives you a clue that you're dealing with a problem and solution text paragraph. I think we're getting the hang of this. Let's try another one. What text structure is this? Their bodies slump low like wilting flowers that miss the rain and the scorching heat. Their faces are grim, lips pulled down at the corners in a frown so deep it might be stuck like that forever. Every few seconds, their lungs expand with glorious air, but the exhale that follows is a long, loud sigh. Even though they are in different places, every one of Mrs. Shoup's students looks exactly the same. They are bored. So, what do you think? What text structure is this? If you guessed this was a description text, you're right. Some clues you might have looked for were describing words, features, characteristics, examples. A lot of times they'll use metaphors or similes. So, for example, their bodies slump low like wilting flowers that miss the rain and the scorching heat. Very descriptive, lots of adjectives, and they even use the word like, meaning they're making it seem like something else. This is our last one. So, what text structure is this? In order to get all of your schoolwork done, you'll first need to make sure you have a space to work. The second step would be to scoot your dog, cat, or baby brother out of the way so they don't drool on your homework. Then, you gather all of your supplies you will need, and lastly, you put on headphones so you can't hear the blender, the washing machine, or the TV while you work. So, what do you think? What text structure is this? If you guessed sequence, you're right. Some of the keywords to look for are to begin with, first, next, finally, lastly. Are they putting things in a certain number of steps? That gives you your clue that this is a sequence.